Hello everyone, it's Wham times 3 again. Um, I know New Year's is already over and I'm just now putting this video out, but my son's birthday, so you know, it's his day and I usually just do this later. Um, this year I decided, because I just had so much to say and to reflect on, instead of just writing out everything. I mean, I did write out everything, but instead of just strictly writing everything out, I would just do a video and make it a little bit easier. So this is my 2020 reflecting and what I've just brought out from 2020 into 2021. So this year, I have found myself looking back and reflecting, and I find myself even more grateful than anything else. Yes, it's been a scary, frustrating year between politics, Black Lives Matter, anti-maskers, along with other things. But to me, it's also been a year of reflection and reconnecting with myself. Um, at the beginning of the year, I was just being a Mon baby, more proudly than ever. For those who are not in the K-pop realm, Mon Baby is the fan name of Monster X, Monsta X, which is the K-pop group I am a fan of. And back in last October, we had basically lost one of our members due to rumors and stuff, and so Mon Baby, we all got together, specifically on Twitter, and we're doing like hashtags every single day and just trying to fight for this member to come back to the group, which he is back in the industry as a soloist, but a good portion of us still feel like the battle's not over with, and we want to eventually get it to where he can at least have the option of being able to go back to the group, and at least they can talk about each other without any stigmatization. So we're still fighting for that. But that also kind of took me a little hard, because this specific member, his past life, I said that weird, his previous life, I guess I should say, but before he became a K-pop idol, before he became even a trainee, the reason why he'd become a trainee, he had gone through a lot of hardships. His family had gone bankrupt. He had hung out with the wrong crowd. And a good portion of his story really kind of reflected on me and my story, because I too had been in a time where I was with the wrong crowd and I was lost and we just didn't have that much money. And despite all of that, he still managed to pursue his dream and become a really great artist and producer and be in this very fantastic group and have his fans support him to the point we literally spent months and thousands of hashtags and hours and just fighting for him to still hold on to that dream. And so for me, I remember that I really just appreciated him being so honest and sharing with us that story. And it also had given me hope during a time I wasn't sure if I could, follow my dreams. And it gave me hope that no matter where my past was, I could still follow my dream. And yet, here he was, 4 years later, someone digging through his past and essentially destroying that dream because of what he used to do when he was younger and stupid and just didn't know any better. And for me, it really hit home because I, have a very similar past. In fact, we probably hung out with the same type of group of people. The difference is mine was probably a little bit worse than his, but for the most part it was the same. And so I had lost hope, because it was like, well, if he lost his dream due to his past, no matter how many changes he had made, how much he had proven that he was no longer that person, is it even worth trying to accomplish my dream? And here I am, like at that time I was like a year and a half from graduation. So I was feeling those emotions while also standing next to my fellow Mon baby and fighting to bring him back. And eventually he did come back, but as I said, now he's a soloist and not a member of Monster X anymore. And I really hope he does eventually come back to Monster X too, so I'm still going to be fighting that fight as well. But during that time, another K-pop idol from the same group also had gone through a complete mental breakdown during the same time, and he went on hiatus for a while. And so I just, I was proud of him for being honest about his mental health. But I also found myself going, is this it? And, again, losing a little bit more hope. But as I said, eventually they both came back. And when the member who had the complete mental breakdown came back, I remember he shared on, I can't remember which platform he had shared. I think it was Twitter. But I'd seen someone had taken a screenshot of it with a translation on Twitter. So here's the screenshot. And had shared that. And he was holding a book, in fact, specifically this book. Blue, The Color of Noise by Steve Aoki. Now, I never really was a fan of Steve Aoki. I kind of heard about him, but just in vague speech. But he had actually at one time worked with Monster X, and so I knew him more through my K-pop group. And basically, the member had just stated, I miss you, while holding up this book during a V Live, actually. And I actually ended up purchasing this book because of that, and I honestly really appreciate the fact that he had done that, because I found so many comforting words from Steve Aoki's book, to the point I still to this day go back and return to it just to reread some quotes or just reread it in general, because here's someone who, like me, had this passion in him and didn't really know where he was going, where this passion of his was taking him. But eventually he found his way and found his path. And here I was, or am, I'm just starting out and going, well, what do I do? What should I do? So the big quote in particular that has gotten me through this year, especially, and got me to where I started my YouTube channel up again and sharing my books, was this quote right here. Okay, the camera cut out. So this quote can be found on page 163. So it's kind of towards, the end of the book. No matter what you do, or the size of the stage you happen to be doing it on, you have to trust your gut and trust yourself. Even if the outcome isn't the most favorable at first, you have to do what feels right. And what feels right now, is for me to keep doing what I'm doing. And for me, that quote really hit home because it was kind of like the quote from Johanni's song Stay Strong, where he says, I don't make money to, what was it? I don't make music to make money. I make money to make music. And for me, that really hit home because I remember back in high school, before all the flashbacks and the understanding of what happened to me when I was younger wasn't right and was extremely sick, was the fact that I had my art teacher tell me that I should give up writing and I should give up my dream of becoming a writer, of becoming an artist, and all of that to basically get a regular job because there is no money in becoming a writer. There is no money in becoming an artist. There is no money in becoming a musician. And to have my art teacher, of all people, tell me that really hit home and really hurt. Because I never thought of money or anything when I wrote my books. I write and I write and I write and I just want to share it with the world, and I just want someone who comes across my work and it gives them hope, it gives them peace of mind, it gives them comfort, just, even reflection. And I've just wanted to do everything in my power to share that with the world. And so when my teacher told me that and I lost myself, I also went down a really dark hole. And I got, in this lifestyle where people were doing drugs and drinking and having sex with everyone, even if it wasn't the person they were dating. And it was a very dangerous lifestyle. And it gave me a way to just numb the voices in my head and numb the demons. But at the same time, I also lost myself and I lost who I was and I lost my passion. I couldn't write anymore. I didn't see a point. And yet, here I am in June, about to graduate with a degree in creative writing. And I have officially been clean now, coming on 6 years. And it's not been easy. I sometimes get close to having a slip up, but I also love how I feel now being me. So to have come across that book, and I recommend it for anyone else, especially even if you're not necessarily an artist, but if you are someone who is trying to follow your dream and you're just sitting there like, this feels right, and everyone's telling you it's not possible, just do it anyway. That is why I started up my YouTube channel, even though I only have 9 subscribers, even though I only get a couple of views, maybe a share here and there every once in a while. I do it because it feels right for me to do it. And everything I am going to be doing from now on, especially when it comes to my YouTube channel, is because of that. Yes, I am exhausted. I struggle being creative at times. Yes, I still struggle keeping up the fight, especially when I sit there and I realize I am 28 years old and I'm still fucking scrubbing toilets. hate it. And yet, Steve Aoki and his book has really been helping me get through 2020. And I'm hoping it will also help me continue getting through 2021, because I know the bullshit is not over with. And I know people are wanting to be optimistic and going, oh, it's New Year and everything's going to be fine. No, we still got a lot of shit that's going to be coming at us. I hate to break it to you, but we do. We have a lot of shit coming. And I hope that we all eventually will just accomplish what we want out of life. And I feel like this year, for some of us, it may have been that year. I know for me, during quarantine, I not only got to finish editing my book and basically get it ready to be published beyond the illustrations, which I've been working on, I'm trying. I feel like if it hadn't been for that chance to be in quarantine and for that book to come into my life through a set of artists who I love and appreciate, I would probably not be putting up a fight right now for my dream. And I feel like that's really important because for me especially, as I said, I am graduating in June. A day I never thought would come. And I thought when it did come, I would have a plan. I would have a job lined up and ready to go, and I'd have my suitcases packed and my U-Haul, up on the back of my pickup truck, and, the coordinates and my Google Maps set and heading on the road. And yet, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but it feels right and it feels like it's time to do it. And I just hope that eventually someone sees me and goes, I think I'm going to give her a chance. And I really hope that that's true. And, hopefully through the power of social media, I will find that person and I will find what I want, because what I want to do for the rest of my life, it is true what my art teacher did say. And part of the reason it's true is the sense that it's not as guaranteed as working a 9-to-5 job. And that is because when you are an artist, when you are a creative person, you don't necessarily apply for a job. You can't just fill out a resume and send it. You have to create your own path and get your creative artwork, whatever form and shape it takes, whether it's painting, sketching, writing, music, or anything else in between, editing videos, making animations. It could be anything. At the end of the day, those types of jobs normally are not found through the typical 9-to-5, fill out a job application, and hope for the best ways. And yeah, I am taking on a lot. I'm taking a really huge struggle. But at the same time, I really appreciate it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So please take care, my sweeties, my family, my friends who have all been there, who've helped me through this crazy shit that I've been dealing with in my head and in my life. And I really hope we all will find our path in this life. And if you already are on your path, I'm really thankful for you to have found your path. But I know eventually we all will get there in our own time and when it's time to get there. Love you. Bye.